सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदां सागन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranams. Hare Krishna devotees, welcome all of you for the today's morning program Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And today we are very, very fortunate to have His Grace Sheetalanga Gauranga Prabhu, and Prabhu will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 22nd chapter, verse 28. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gyananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam karoti vachalam Pangam langayate girim Yakripa tamam vande Shri Gurum Dhina Tharanam. Namavom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya yevacha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Today we will discuss about the matter where Pṛthu Mahārāja, who is none other than the Lord himself in his expansion, meets with the four Kumāras, and as a king, he is getting instructions from these wonderful brahmacharis. So, Pṛthu Mahārāja meets with the Kumāras. Chapter 22, text number 28 of 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Atman indriyartam cha param yat ubayar api sati ashaya upadau vai puman pashyati nanyada. Atmanam indriyartam. Atmanam indriyartam. This means when the soul exists purely for sense gratification, ubayo api, api certainly, ubayoho, he creates two things. Two things. What are they? They are sati ashaye, material desires, and uphado vai, becomes subjected to designations. Upadhi. It is coming from, we are very familiar with that word. Sarvo upadhi vinimuktam. Sarvo upadhi, upadhi. So that upadho, why? He becomes subjected to designation. But Atmanam parayat. Atmanam parayat means when the soul sees itself in a transcendental position. Pashyati Atmanam, sees nothing but the Lord. Pashyati Atmanam. When he sees the Lord, Atmanam Parayat, when the soul sees itself in a transcendental position. And therefore, na anyada, no longer interested in anything except fulfilling the desires of the Lord. So, when the soul exists purely for sense gratification, he certainly creates two things. One, material desires, and two, he becomes subjected to designations. But when the soul sees itself in a transcendental position, the person, the soul, sees nothing but the Lord, and therefore no longer interested in anything except fulfilling the desires of the Lord. So here, Sanaka is preaching, instructing Pṛthu Mahārāja. We already came to know that Pṛthu Mahārāja is none other than an expansion of the Lord. And yet, he is actually receiving instructions from the great brahmacharis, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana, and Sanata Kumāras. In this verse, there is no mention of the word Bhagavan. Is there any Bhagavan? Atmanam only is there. Atmanam indriyatam cha param yat ubayor api satyashaya uphadav vai puman pashyati nanyada. Any of us seeing the word Isha, the word Swami, the word Bhagavan, or the word Narayana? No. And if you see the synonyms also, there is nowhere mentioned the Lord. The Lord is not mentioned anywhere. And yet it says, in the end of the verse, it says, the translation, she is nothing but the Lord, and therefore no longer interested in anything except fulfilling the desires of the Lord. So where did this Lord come from? It's a very interesting thing. Only Atma is mentioned. The real answer is in the word Atmanam. When Atmanam Indriyartham is there, this Atma, which wants to indulge in sense gratification, Indriya Artham, the soul, the personality who wants to indulge in sense gratification, Indriyartham, that Atma is nothing but the conditioned soul. When Pashyati Atmanam is utilized, Pashyati Atmanam, then this Atma is to be interpreted as Bhagavan, Paramatma, Bharta, Prabhu, Isha. Now who will do this? In 629, Bhagavad Gita 629, Atmanam is referred to as super soul. Everybody thinks that Atma means conditioned soul. No. We have to understand. In 1.6.15, Atmana is referred to as intelligence. You can go and refer, you can just note down these numbers and you can refer it later on. So in 1.6.15, the same Atma word is utilized for intelligence. In the same 1.6.15, Atma sum is used there, and it is for mentioning within myself. So Atmanam means super soul, Atmana means intelligence, Atmastam means within myself. And not only that, 2.10.32, there, Atma is utilized to represent form. Which form? Form. Which form? Depends on the context. That is the thing. It depends on the context. And in 6.2.11, it is used, Atma is used to represent false ego. And in 7th canto, 10th chapter, 8th verse, Atma, the same word Atma, is used to refer to the body, the material body. So Atma means intelligence. Atma means Paramatma, the super soul. Atma means, Atmastam means within myself. Atma also means mind or intelligence or body or even false ego, ahankara. So without the help of a spiritual master, without the help of a spiritual authority, if we try to read the scriptures, we can easily end up becoming a Nirakaravadi, a Mayavadi, or even an atheist, Nastikavadi. So what is the first lesson to be learned here? The first lesson to be learned here is that the scriptures, the Shastras, have to be understood only in the association of devotees, guided by a spiritual authority. So, when we refer to Atmanam Indriyartham, it means the conditioned soul which is greatly interested in sense gratification. which exists purely for sense gratification. And then when it says Pashyati Atmanam, so actually the construction of Sanskrit will be Atma Pashyati Atmanam. Soul seeing the soul. No. Soul seeing the super soul. Soul seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, the Lord, the Master. So this is the first lesson we have to learn, that we should understand the scriptures only in the association of the devotees and only under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual authority. The second point that we need to understand in this verse is this. What is the connection between Indriya Tripti or Indriya Artham, Ashaye or Kama, and Upadi? Indriya Tripti is sense gratification. Ashaye means desires. And Upadi means designation. So what is the connection between these three? When a living entity is a complete goal, when one's goal becomes the sense gratification, then one thinks of various ways of gratifying the senses. The soul is there. We are there, the conditioned soul. Why are we called conditioned? We are called conditioned because we think something is good and something is bad. That is called a condition. We always think in terms of dualities. A conditioned soul always thinks in terms of friend and enemy. He never sees anybody and everybody as one and the same. Part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Avibhajya Amshaganu. Nobody, none of the conditions soul is every other living entity as part and parcel of Krishna. Why? Because they are in duality. That is their conditioned nature. So when one's goal, when such a conditioned soul's goal, most important goal becomes sense gratification, then one only thinks of various ways of gratifying the senses. This produces what? This produces more and more desires. So sense gratification and desire be connected now. These desires cannot be fulfilled if you do not believe in them. We have to have great amount of faith in these desires. So if we have faith in those desires, then only we will try to fulfill them. To help us have faith in them, to make us develop that faith, yes, this desire can be fulfilled. What we have to do? We have to create designation within our minds. See, to fulfill these desires, we have to create designation within our mind. Supposing I am a cow, then what will be my desire? Will the cow's desire be to go behind many women? No. Will the cow's desire to eat rasagullas? No. The cows want to eat fresh, juicy grass. Do you understand? It's a very, very important concept which we must understand from this verse, from these wonderful instructions of Sanata, Sanaka, Sanandana, and Sanata Kumāra. So, I repeat again, to help us fulfill our desires we have to create designations. If I want to eat grass, if grass becomes my goal, then I need to convert myself, believe that I am a cow. When I believe I am a cow, when I operate on the platform of a cow, then juicy grass becomes very interesting to me. So you see, sense gratification is indriya tripti. Then it becomes one's goal. Then the achaye or kama, the desires develop. And to fulfill those desires, to enjoy those desires, we have to create the upadhi. We have to create the designations. If we don't create the designations, then we cannot enjoy. But these designations are false designations, upadhis. Upadhi means that which is not real. If you think, I am a servant of the Lord, that is not upadhi, that is not a designation, that is our swarupa. So, upadhi, swarupa. Let it sink in. When we think of something which is real, which is factual, then it is nothing but the reality, the facts. In other words, that is our original constitutional position. But when we think what we are not, Maya. How does Prabhupada define Maya? That which is not. That which is not. So because of the influence of Maya, when we think that I am this, I am that, then it is upadhi. Upadhi leads to miseries. Swarupa leads to liberation, peace, happiness, shanti, klesha. So upadhi leads to klesha and swarupa leads to shanti. Now, let's go dive a little more deeper and try to understand this upadhi, this desire, upadhi connection. Okay. When we want to control everyone, we want to become intelligent. So what do we call ourselves as? What do we think of ourselves as? Or what do we try to gain? We try to gain in the intelligence. So we create the designation or upadhi. And what is that designation or upadhi? I am buddhiman. I'm a very intelligent person. What do these people know? They don't know. I tell them so many times, they don't understand because they are all dull. I'm intelligent, they're dull. So we created an upadhi, we created a designation. I am an intelligent person. Why? What was the reason? I want to control everybody. When we want to be highly influential in this society, we create the designation, boss. I'm your boss. Listen to me. Swami, Prabhu, I am the president. I am the prime minister. I am the chief minister. I am the head of the family. Or even amongst the devotional community, I am a senior devotee. I am a temple president. I am a GBC. Designations. These designations have to go. If we don't give up the designations, then we cannot see the reality. We cannot see our Swarupa. Now, why the designation came? The designation came because of desire. And why the desires came? Because I'm interested in sense gratification. See how they are all connected. When we understand all these things exactly the way we should understand them, then it becomes very easy for us to understand what I should be doing with my life. This is the most important. So when we want to control everyone, we create the upadhi, I am buddhiman. When we want to be influential, we create the upadhi, I am Swami, I am boss, I am this, I am that. So these designations have been created by us. We believe in these designations. We transform ourselves into these designations. We work towards this, achieving this designation so that we can fulfill our desire. So we want to fulfill our desires. Therefore, we created a designation and we achieved it. And desires came because our goal is Indriya Trupti, Indriyartham. So the second lesson we have to learn from this verse is that we must not make the goal of our lives Indriyartham, sense gratification. As long as sense gratification is our goal, then desires will keep popping up in our minds, in our hearts. And our intelligence will start creating more and more and more designations. I'm the boss, I'm this, I am that. And we start working towards those designations to achieve, to become, to transform ourselves as the designations themselves. The president, the prime minister, the chief minister, the union minister, whatever, like that. So, in one of the earlier verses, in the same chapter, in one of the earlier instructions delivered by Sanata Kumāra, we find this very interesting line. Arthendriya Rama, Artha Indriya Arama, Sagoshti Atrushneya. Arthendriya Rama, Sagoshti Atrushneya. This means one has to make spiritual progress. This is the instruction. This is the instruction of the four Kumāras to Pṛthu. And what is the instruction? The instruction is that one has to make spiritual progress in spiritual life by not associating with persons who are simply interested in Artha Indriya Artham. Let me repeat again. We can make spiritual progress only if we do not associate with people who are interested in Artha Indriya Arama. Artha Indriya Arama. What is Artha? Artha means, Prabhupada describes to us very clearly, making money. Indriya Arama means sense gratification. So who can make spiritual progress? According to Srimad Bhagavatam, a person who is not interested in making money and who is not interested in gratifying his senses. See, now the idea is expanding. By connecting a verse of today to a verse which we have already studied, the idea expands. When the idea expands, when we begin to see things as they are, pashyati sa pashyati, when we see things as they are, as it is, then we understand what is my position. Or we understand what is my duty. This is the importance of learning the scriptures in a systematic way. When we learn the scriptures in a systematic way, we immediately begin to understand what I should be doing or what I should not do. So not only this, not only what? Which? That one can make spiritual progress only if one does not associate, gives up the full association of those who are Indriya, Arama and Artha. One who is not interested in making money and one who is not interested in sense gratification. If we associate only with these people, or if we associate with people who are interested in money making, and if we are associated with people who are interested in their own sense gratification, then we cannot make spiritual progress, advancement. But not only this, if someone is associated with such people, who are associated with such people, you are not interested in money making, you are not interested in sense gratification, but you are associated with me, who is associating with a man who is interested in sense gratification, who is interested in making money, then you cannot make progress. But what are we doing? Now again, understand this point, essential point, very nicely and properly. Somebody is there. He is not interested in making money. He is not interested in sense gratification. But he is associated with a person who is interested in sense gratification, who is interested in making money. If I associate with him, my spiritual life will degrade itself automatically. But what are we doing? Let us try to analyze that. We are not just associating with people who associate with those interested in Artha and Indriya Arama. We are not just that. We are actually interested in making money, in getting more and more promotions. For what? When we become interested in developing ourselves in the eyes of the materials, then immediately we are degrading ourselves. So we are not associating with somebody who is interested in material life. We are not associating ourselves with somebody who is associating with somebody else who is interested in material life. We ourselves are interested in two things: our sense gratification and the money, because the money provides all the strength to carry on my sense gratification. The New Age devotees, they have coined a word. What is that word called? Balancing. Balancing our professional and spiritual lives. Oh, you need to have a balance. Work-life balance, they say. But what is this work-life balance? There is no such thing as work-life balance. It's impossible. How can a man who has his feet firmly placed into different boats be able to cross the ocean, be able to cross the river, go from one bank of the river and reach the other bank of the river? He cannot. He will fall down. But all the New Age devotees, they want the best of both worlds. The best of both worlds can never be obtained. In the 7th canto, Srila Prabhupada makes a very, very specific statement. He says that if somebody says, I am simultaneously interested in being a man of this world, a good man, a great man, an influential man, and also a devotee, then he is nothing but a murkha, a stupid fool. He cannot be anything else. So, What do you all think about a man of the word and a man of God? Man of the word, 9 to 5. Man of God, 5 to 9. Is it possible? It's really not possible. This so-called balancing may be all right for a neophyte devotee. A person who has just come in, we cannot tell him, you shave up, you do this, you do that. That's okay. For him, we can tell, oh, you just add Krishna to your life. And that's what Prabhupada told. But he didn't tell a full-time devotee. He didn't tell a serious devotee, just add Krishna to your life. He said, you have done so many things in your life. Have you become peaceful? Have you become happy? Have you been able to realize all your desires? No. So why don't you give up this one life? The rest of this, the remainder of your life for Krishna's service. This is what Prabhupada said. So for a neophyte devotee, it is all right. Balancing is all right. But for a person who thinks, for a person who claims that he is a serious devotee, it is not all right. It is definitely not all right. But if you want to be serious, then we have to slowly begin to develop detachment from the desire for economic development or material advancement. So if you want to be considered as serious devotee, if you want to operate on the platform of serious devotee, then we have to begin to develop detachment from economic development or material advancement. Now, does this mean that all of us have to simply resign our jobs and shave our heads? Does this mean that? Is this what I am telling? Actually, yes. But I cannot tell that. Why? Even if someone tells us that we must do this, we are not going to listen to them. So therefore, let us leave this line of action, resigning the job and shaving our heads and becoming a full-time devotee for the time being. Let us not even think about it. Then that's what we are doing. We are going to work. We are struggling hard. We are coming to temple. We are doing this. We are doing that. I did this seva. I did that seva. I distributed so many sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hold on. Let us leave this line of action for the time being means, what should we do? It means that just begin to stop your desire to advance in your careers. The moment somebody says, I am the assistant team lead, my goal is to become the team lead, then immediately he's a gone man. As far as Krishna is concerned, he's gone. Why? Because he has a definite goal and he's working towards that goal. So everything else will become secondary. Krishna becomes secondary. Because we cannot become the team lead unless and until we impress the boss. And one of the ways of impressing the boss is to stay late. Oh, it's 9:30 in the night, late evening, and still this man is still coming and working on the computer, and then he is thinking so much. My God, he's very responsible. He's working for the organization. He must become the team lead. This is how the world is working. When my father and your fathers were working in some organizations like the State Bank of India or the Bharat Earth Movers Limited or the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited or the Indian telephone industry, a bus will come at the right time, pick them up, go to the factory, and a bus will leave at the right time there and drop them off at the right time. But now, no. It's a global world. It's a global village. Right now, it's a global village. That means you should be able to work non-stop, 24/7, all the 24 hours of a day. And if you are not interested in working, they will chuck you out. That's what we think. That's what we think. But actually, it's not the case. We are fearful. More than we are fearful, we want to advance. Therefore, we voluntarily stay there. So this is the mistake that we are doing. So what is the line of action? Should we resign our job and shave our head and become full-time devotees? No. Why not? Why not? Well, if you can, welcome. But you can't. Therefore, stop it. Don't think about it. Then what we should do? We should simply begin to give up our desire to advance in our careers. That's all. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Status quo. Maintain your status quo. You are earning 1 lakh rupees. You are earning 50,000 rupees. You are earning 20,000 rupees per month. Just make do with that. There are 8,400,000 species of life forms on this material creation. Except the Homo sapien, the human being. Have you seen an elephant sitting in a Toyota car and going 60, 70, 80 kilometers away to work in an industry? Have you seen? We have not seen. Have you seen a cheetah working in the night? We have not seen. But are they all not having food? Yes, they are having. Are they not having children? Did they not marry? Yes, they marry. They produce children. Were they not powerful enough in their heydays? Yes, they were heyday. Yes, they were powerful. But still, why only man is working? Because he thinks economic development is very important because it can produce money, and because of this money, he can enjoy better facilities of sense gratification. Now we went back to the first one. Indriyartham. And because of that, Ashaya came. And because of that, designations, upadhis came. So it's a vicious circle. So we are moving in a vicious circle. So at least, if we are unable to get out of the circle, stop where you are. How to stop where you are? Just drop your desire to impress your boss. Drop your desire to advance in your career. But do your work. Of course, do justice to your work. But no need to overdo. This is the point. If you do this, then you will have time. Then you'll have time for real spiritual life. If we have to do this, stop our desire for advancements in our career, material career, we have to stop working for promotions. This means we should become prepared for no big jumps and hikes in our salaries. This means we should adopt the technique, the principle of simple living and high thinking. So we should adopt simple living and high thinking in our life. This is Srila Prabhupada's desire for all of us. So we call ourselves as followers of Srila Prabhupada. But, we want to open big industries. We want to become from the assistant team lead. We want to become the team lead. Then we want to become the lead manager. Then we want to become the CEO or CFO. And ultimately, I want to become the proprietor. So when you become the proprietor, you think you have a cushy life, comfortable life. one cannot have a cushy and comfortable life. Then what can you have? You can only have a life that is filled with great miseries. Everybody's problems becomes your problem. If I want to be the boss, then the buck stops at my table. So therefore, everybody will start contacting me for all their problems, and I need to give solutions for everybody. So if I am going to keep thinking 24/7 to give solutions for all these people, then I need to stop thinking about Krishna. This is the problem. But devotees always want to upgrade their material lives. What devotees want to do? They want to upgrade their material lives. They want better cars. They want better homes. They want better women in their lives. They want many women in their lives. This is the reason why devotees cannot chant their rounds properly. If we are also in the race for better cars, if we are also in the race for better homes, if we are also in the race for many women, more beautiful women, more intelligent women in our lives, then we cannot chant properly. We cannot chant sincerely. It becomes an obstacle because we are always thinking how to achieve these instead of thinking how to hear the holy names of the Lord nicely, concentrate, focus on the holy names of the Lord nicely. We are always thinking, planning, scheming, how can I achieve my goal? And what's my goal? My goal is sense gratification. My goal is to become a big man in this society. My goal is to become the most influential man in this society. So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, then just be a simple, humble grihastha. No need to become a sannyasi. This was his instruction to the Kurma Brahman. Stane, stitagatam, wherever you are, in whatever position you are, just be in that position. Do the minimum things that you need to do. As a husband, what you need to do the minimum. As a father, what you need to do the minimum. As an IT specialist, what you need to do the minimum. I'm not telling stop it. Actually, we should stop. But we cannot stop because we have no faith. So therefore, I am not stopped, so I cannot tell you to stop. But at least we can do this much. What is that? Just let us maintain where we are. Let us not try to upgrade our material life. Instead of upgrading our material life, let us try to maintain the status quo of the material life and upgrade our spiritual life. This should become the goal of all devotees who consider themselves serious. So, this is the reason if we want to upgrade our material life, then we cannot read properly, we cannot chant properly, we cannot study properly, we cannot do our service properly because our loyalties are divided. Of course, people who claim to be devotees, they will do all this. But how they will do? Just as a matter of routine. Did you finish your rounds? That will be there. That will be their talk. Did you finish your rounds? Finish. Katham. Katham kar diya kya? Katham kar diya. No. That is not the goal. Did we enjoy our rounds? Is our ruchi increasing day by day? Do we want to chant more? That is important. So if we want to achieve that, then we have to simply maintain our status quo materially and then upgrade our spiritual life. So we will do all these things, but we will do all these things in a routine manner as a ritual. And ritualistic practices cannot give you bhakti. Ritualistic practices can only give you more and more sense gratification, karma kanda. So instead of upgrading our material lifestyle, we should first begin to stagnate our material life. Stagnate our material lifestyle. And then when we have the strength, we have to begin to downgrade our material lifestyle. Now I am telling, when you have first stagnate your material lifestyle, and when we have developed sufficient strength at having done more and more devotional service, then you begin to downgrade your material lifestyle and begin to upgrade more and more your devotional lifestyle. So this is the second lesson to be learned from this verse. Indriya Artham and Indriya Arama and Artha should not become our goal. If we do not come out of this, then there is a very big danger. If we do not come out of this, there is a very big danger. What is the danger? What is it? First, we create designations as president, as prime minister, as chief minister, as this, as that. As even demigods we create. But then what happens in our next life? If we want more and more and more of sense gratification, when Indriya Artha becomes the purpose, the very purpose of our existence, if you want to have more meat, if you want to have more sex life, if you want to have more intoxication, then we can become a bumblebee, and we can intoxicate ourselves with honey. Is that the goal of life? Or we can become a pigeon and then have sex every 5 minutes and derive a lot of pleasure out of it. Or we can become a cheetah, a tiger, a lion, or whatever. Or if you want to keep on eating more and more and more, we can eat tons and tons of fodder as the elephant. So what is happening? This is the danger. First, the designation that we have created on the human platform is not sufficient to fulfill our requirements of sense gratification. Therefore, we will create newer designations as beasts, as pashus, as pakshis, as krimis, as kitas. So we will degrade from the human form of life. So this is the big problem. So when we succeed in this, when we succeed becoming a lion, when we succeed in becoming a tiger or a pigeon or whatever, then returning back home, back to God, becomes extremely difficult. But by being in the real association of devotees, we can slowly develop bhakti, which will in turn help us to come to the platform of vairagya, gnana and vairagya. There is bhakti in everybody, but it's very, very in a minute seed form. So we have to fan it. We have to pour water. We have to give it sunlight. So the association of devotees, in the association of devotees, when we do singing, dancing, chanting, hearing, speaking, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Sparanam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmaniveda. When we do all these things to the devotees of the Lord and to the Lord, then what happens is the seed of bhakti, the bhakti lata bija starts sprouting. And because bhakti is now not just in its latent form, but in its real form, then gnana develops, vairagya develops. When more gnana is there, more bhakti develops. When more bhakti is there, more gnana develops. So this is a real backward integration. Just like in a business, you have a small business, You made some small profit. You invest that profit into the business. Then your business grows. And because the business grows and you're doing the same things in the right way, at the right time, in the right mode, what happens is your profits start increasing. You increase that, flow that profit back to your business. Then you make more business, more profit. So bhakti leads to gnana, gnana leads to bhakti, bhakti, gnana, bhakti, gnana, bhakti, gnana. Unlimited, it keeps on increasing. And then there is vairagya. How should we know that somebody is having bhakti or not? They should have vairagya. What is vairagya? Vairagya is nothing but raga. Raga is attachment. Giving up attachment is vairagya. Now, attachment, giving up attachment for what? Giving up attachment for those activities that will lead us away from Krishna consciousness, that will lead us away from bhakti. That is called as vairagya. Not that I have 100 crore rupees and then I simply set fire to it. No, that is not vairagya. Or I just throw it in the streets and then I come up. That is not vairagya. Vairagya means anything which is actually going to take you away from Krishna. If you develop attachment for that, then that is called as raga. If you give up all those attachments for such type of activities, such type of things that will obstruct you from going towards Krishna, then that is vairagya, viraga. So this is what we need to understand. Therefore, Narada Muni says, Sarvopadhi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchi. So, when we get time, when we get true gnana, we can see things as they are. We will be in our constitutional position. Sarva upadhi vinirmuktam. When we become free of all kinds of designation. I am the temple president, I am this, I am senior devotee. Even amongst the devotional community, if we maintain all these things, then we cannot really go towards bhakti. We cannot advance in the path of bhakti. But when we say that I am Gopi Pṛthu Padakamayor Dasa Dasanu Dasaha, Naham Vipro Nacha Narapatir, Napi Vaishya Na Shudra, Nam Varni Nacha Grapate, Namanastoya Tirva, Kintu Protya Nikila Paramananda Purnamritabde, Gopi Pṛthu Padakamayor Dasa Dasanu Dasaha. At this time, in this mood, then I can develop, I can understand that I am an eternal servant of the 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 Lord. When we are in this platform, on this platform, then we can see things as it is, as they are. Then we will not attach ourselves into things that will lead us away from Krishna. Only then we can have vairagya. So, to sum up this entire session, sense gratification, indriya artham or indriya arama, and artham must not become the goal of our life. If we give up this, or if we reduce the interest in indriya artham, then we will have time to do devotional service, because we will have lesser and lesser desires to be fulfilled. We need lesser and lesser time and lesser money to fulfill our smaller and smaller desire. By doing this, we can remove all the upadhis. We can give up all the upadhis. When we give up all the upadhis, we can see our true swarupa. And what is that? I am servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when I am servant of the Lord, then I am free enough to serve all the devotees. I am free to serve Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God. And when I do this, I gain more bhakti. With more bhakti, I gain more time to understand more jnana. Even if I don't read at that time, Divya Gyan Hriday Prakash. That is not to say, this is not to say that we should stop studying. We must study. We must study. We must put in our endeavor to sit and focus on the Shastras given by Srila Prabhupada. The Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Bhagavad Gita, the three essential books. If we keep on reading more and more, we understand more and more, we keep on implementing these instructions in our life, then we start developing more and more bhakti. With more and more bhakti, we do more and more adhyayana, swadhyaya, self-study under the guidance of greater devotees. Then there is no end to this. And then we become so peaceful in our lives. Jivan mukta sa uchyate. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If somebody has a question or questions, they can ask. If somebody wants to comment, they are welcome to comment. If somebody wants a clarification, they can seek a clarification. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot for the wonderful class. It was really nice, and I could like when my chanting was not well. Of course, now was not well. Then I like when I was working for this material designation, like for promotion. So my manager used to always say that, okay, if you do this, then you will get a promotion. But at the end, I did not get that. I did not get this. So it was really a tough problem for me at that time. So later, I mean, just some other devotee told that it is Krishna's final thing. Like even though your manager says, but it ultimately comes from Krishna. So if Krishna is not satisfied, you will not get anything. I mean, it was really a very wonderful class, Prabhuji. And at the end, you have summed up all things also. So devotees' lines are unmuted. Devotees can unmute and ask any questions or comments. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, doctor. Please tell me.
Yes, Prabhu. I was also going through, like Venkatramana Prabhu said. I mean, I was not, as you know, I don't need any positions and all that. I was a bit confused what I should do, how should I carry on with my things and all that. But I got the guidance from you. Try to downtrend things, and then I still have to talk to you, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam, excellent class guidance I received.
We create some institution, a small company, a clinic, or we create a big, wonderful residence, which is like an estate, and we think, what will happen to it when I am gone? So we should make all arrangements for that. Array, what will happen to anything when I am gone? What will happen? And even if something happens, in what way are you going to be? There are hundreds and hundreds of people. They say that there are so many people who fought for our freedom. And at one point of time, these freedom fighters were the biggest guys in our country. Now, can you tell me 4 people's names who fought for our freedom? Movie stars. Movie stars were so, in 1947, there were so many wonderful stars. In 1974, there were so many wonderful stars. In 1984, there were so many wonderful stars. Can we remember any of them now? They did so many things. Tens of thousands of people, lakhs of followers, millions of followers, crores of followers were there for them. What happened to their estates? What happened to their businesses? What happened to their books? Everything is gone. Why are we worried? We need to create something because we don't have any faith that Krishna will maintain us. This is the only purpose of creating. But for that, if we say, I want to survive, therefore I am running an industry, and therefore I am running a clinic, people will think we are mad. So therefore, we give very wonderful, I want to serve society. I want to do this. I want to do that. It's not just for me. See, because of me, so many people are living. I have 10,000 workers in my factory. So 10,000 families are having food because of this industry. Oh, I need to maintain it. So we give it a color in such a way that we think that it's very altruistic. So therefore, please, 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 do not think, let us not think of ourselves as big guys. There is only one big guy. Or rather, there can be two big guys. One big guy is Krishna. The other big guy is the Acharya who comes and goes from time to time. Except these, everybody else are small. So therefore, let us all understand that let us, for the time being, just stagnate where we are. And when we begin to get strength, let us start downgrading our material life. Hare Krishna. Next question. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, devotees, any other questions?
Any other question or comments? Time to go and take prasadam and rush to go to please our bosses, isn't it?
I think everybody is Sanjay Prabhu, you want to say something? I think everybody is very clear, Prabhuji, and thanks again for the wonderful class. And it was like
I am unable to hear. Where the volume seems to be very low.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, wonderful for the wonderful class, and I need to hear more and more to analyze myself where I am and how to stop thinking of the material things. Thanks a lot for the wonderful class, and thanks all the devotees for your active participation. Then we'll end the class with the Vaishnava Pranama. On Chakal Patarubhesh. Patitanam Pavanebhyo.
Namo Namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Kodi Vaishnava ki jai. Jai Gaur.